Alright, quick video, hopefully. Uh, it's been a lot of talk about the controversy around Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the 2019 release, that is, not the 2007 release of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. You know, his names get confusing. Um, and I wanted to talk about how so many YouTubers are just kind of like casually dismissing the controversy as if it's not like warranted. Okay? So, first thing to address, yes, Call of Duty games have always been pretty controversial. War games in general are always pretty controversial. That doesn't dismiss the controversy, that doesn't make them any better. Uh, the fact that developers like Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Dice, etc., are constantly trying to draw attention to the horrors of war, yet also glamorizing war, is just despicable, really. Are they fun games to play? Absolutely, yes. Uh, Probably one of my favorite genres, if I'm being completely honest. That doesn't make the story content or the propaganda therein um, any less impactful or disturbing. And this new one is no better. In fact, I would say it's far worse. They went for a much grittier and more realistic take on the Call of Duty franchise, and I feel like that makes it all the more potent as propaganda. A lot of kids, teens, young adults are going to be playing these games, very impressionable, very, young minded, and they are going to get this idea that these elite operators are some kind of good guys, that these guys are making the tough decisions and stopping the bad guys from absolutely ruining the world. So I'm gonna make it crystal fucking clear right out of the gate: they are the bad guys. They're not the good guys. Uh, these terrorist bombers are created by these elite soldiers that are sent over there, killing their women, their children, their families, ruining communities, and destroying entire cities, or even countries. Sometimes destabilizing them. And that's been their whole agenda this whole time. We want power. As far as big countries like the US, Russia, they're all empires. So the way they become more powerful is by taking the resources from those smaller countries, by annexing them, destabilizing them, installing puppet governors, whatever they have to do to essentially shadow government a small country and rape it of its resources. Um, these elite operatives are just jokers on a string. They are just little puppets. They aren't high operating, military professionals. I mean, technically they are, but that's name alone. Uh, they're just dudes. They're just regular dudes, and that does not dismiss them from their fucking crimes. It's not like, oh, they didn't know any better. Oh, they're just doing their job. We had the fucking Nuremberg trials for a reason, okay? There's no dismissing that. It's just their job. It's just their prayer. They're still killing people. They are paid to kill people. They're contract killers. And that's all the military. I'm not just going after Call of Duty controversy right now. I'm going after all military controversy. And I'm going to get some hate, and I don't care. Because I'm not going to get hate. No one's going to fucking watch this. I don't care. Anywho, point being, the controversy is warranted, okay? They try and do a cop-out by calling the country Urzikstan. It's clearly Syria. And these are clearly Kurdish warriors. Like, the comparison is, like, blatant. And then they cover the Highway of Death thing. I watched an interview with one of the developers where he did try and, backpedal and say, oh, well, we did say in the game that it had been previously, become the Highway of Death, and now the Soviets are attacking it. That's disingenuous still. It's just, careful language is all it is. You failed to recognize that this highway of death was caused by Americans. The person being sent on this mission, Alex, a CIA operative, is an American, a high-ranking American. There is no way these Kurdish warriors who are still reeling from the effects of this highway of death would be okay with sending this American CIA operative to go fight for them at this highway of death against the Soviets. Not a fucking chance. So, sorry, Urzikstan. Uh, so that's one thing. One thing in that. The way that they fucking depict the Russians is absolutely fucking Hollywood, if nothing else. It is a fucking joke. There's a scene where they're fucking hanging a bunch of fucking Urzikstan from a crane on a piece of fucking steel beam. And literally getting in the face of a woman and child and saying, "This is what you get," because a few Spetsnaz are dead, and they're blaming the Urzikstan. Sorry, you know that Spetsnaz die, and that's part of their mission. In fact, it's absolutely unrealistic that Russians would even acknowledge that Spetsnaz died. They would not dishonor their legacy by going after people for revenge, because they would never even acknowledge that it happened. Spetsnaz don't die. They're fucking legends. And it's the same with most military, for example, but America knows that it's easier to fucking work the people if we're like, "Oh, the Navy SEALs that died in that mission." You know, fuck it, whatever. But Russia's a little more tactful about it. I'll just give them that. Not that I'm a fan of Russia either, but it's silly how often we paint them as the fucking nemesis. Just because they're just as powerful as us. They're still just as evil. Don't get me wrong. The way they fucking treat homosexuals and transsexuals and all that shit is absolutely fucking abhorrent. You know, their country, since the loss of communism, has just absolutely fucking tanked. Putin is a fucking madman. Yeah, so, not fucking trying to glorify Russia or anything. They're bad too. But these games are fucking ridiculous. Yeah. And then fucking the fucking white phosphorus shit. Just acting like it's okay. Just acting like it was just a fucking Tuesday. We're literally in the first fucking mission. They bomb a whole fucking factory with white phosphorus because they're going after chemical weapons. Does that make fucking sense? No, it doesn't. We are going after their chemical weapons, and we use our own chemical weapons. Alright. Okay. Alright. Good game, though. Lots of fun. You know, if you can just turn your brain off and forget that it's, you know, an absolute fucking dog shit propaganda piece, it's fun to play. Just don't fucking take this shit seriously. Don't fucking listen to these fucking reviewers who are absolutely dismissing the controversy and saying, "Oh, it's not that big a deal. Other Call of Duties were worse. They had nukes." A nuke alone is just a nuke. It's how the nuke is used that is bad. If a nuke goes off in a fucking multiplayer match, you don't believe for a second that that's a realistic thing. You know, there's not a fucking town in the middle of nowhere with a bunch of fucking soldiers running around that just gets nuked every 24 hours or some shit. Okay? You know, okay, I think there's a scene in fucking Call of Duty 4 where a nuke goes off, and it's supposed to be a pretty big deal. There was never a nuke that went off in the Middle East, and there probably never will be. So, there's no comparison to be drawn there. It's just a ridiculous, like, fantasy warrior shooter thing. And as long as, you know, these games can tread those fantasy tropes, that's fine, you know, as it just, when they try and push the realism, when they try and, you know, make up words or country names that are obvious stand-ins for real existing countries and real existing people, that's when problems start to happen, because it's a parody is what it is. And it's not a good one. It is a disingenuine and, frankly, evil piece of parody. So that's really all I have. Just getting my 2 cents in on this fucking Call of Duty controversy. So, have a good one and stay woke, I guess.